the gallery of Homewood Studios. It's 2400 Plymouth Avenue in North Minneapolis. It's a building I've walked by for the last 10 or 15 years thinking our neighborhood deserves more than a boarded building. It would be nice if we could get artists a place to work. And so this is the home of 5 artists and a gallery and a community.
Oh, I think the space is great, the way that it's been set up, and it's nice to see it open. I mean, because for so long it was just a kind of a gray thing sitting on the corner here.
Well, my wife Beverly and I bought the building. It was for sale. A local real estate agent who's lived in the neighborhood a long time has had the building for a long time, and in many different incarnations of pickle factory and mayonnaise factory and delicatessen and family grocery store and neighborhood housing services place, outreach place for churches. And then it's been vacant for about the last 10 years. We purchased it. And then for about the last 18 months, I did a tear out of the whole inside. I took the whole thing apart.
I helped write on it with magic marker when it was being gutted, a really old unused retail space, and now I'm in my beautiful studio since August.
I used to walk this neighborhood when I was a child, and it just kind of brings full circle the whole idea of artists and community sticking together in one place.
I'm a teacher at North High School, and I'm also an artist. I'm a letterpress printer, and I make paper. And so I've been looking at this building as a possible place to expand my own studio. And in the process of doing that, I got to know that there are other artists in my neighborhood who were working off their dining room table or out of their basement or in some fashion where they had to stop doing their art to lead their life and move their work back and forth, and it slowed down their progress as an artist.
Art has had to hide in all of our basements. Now we're out.
So I thought maybe we can build some spaces here where they can move their art up into a space and work on it regularly and consistently and develop as artists.
Well, Homewood Studios, developed by George Roberts and his wife Bev in the last couple years, is really kind of a godsend to me because I was looking for a space very close to my home. I'm a Bryn Mawr resident.
And all of the artists that are in our studio, and there are 4 different studios for artists, live within walking distance of here, so it is a real neighborhood effort.
When I met George, I was immediately comfortable with what his idea of a community kind of building like this.
I make paintings. My neighbor Charles Caldwell makes paintings. My neighbor Tony Scrow makes paintings. My neighbors Jill and Frank Atlas do ceramics and paintings. And then up front is the gallery space where we've had one show thus far at the grand opening, and we've had a couple great events.
Well, we call this front space a gallery community meeting space, and any community group who needs a place to meet is welcome to meet here.
Most of us here belong to a national group of storytellers, a national organization. Well, we had not met on the north side, and the way we meet is to go different places. And basically, I remembered that the studio was open, so I wanted to see if they had meeting space. And when I called, they said it was, was available for us to meet. It's a beautiful place, and so that's why I wanted to be here and give everybody a chance to take a look at it too.
We opened up this place with the idea that what the community did not have was a place to come together and see and meet and be with each other. So today is a really good example of what's happening. We've had the Northside Storytellers Alliance have their monthly meeting here, and just getting formed now as a writers group in North Minneapolis, and they're using this space as a meeting place.
Well, this is our first meeting, and it's the Northside Writers Group. That's our preliminary name. It's made up of residents of the near North Side who are interested in writing. I can't tell you what a wonderful building this has been to the community and especially to this neighborhood. I mean, it's a place where people can, especially artists, can gather, exchange ideas, have a place to... It's just a real focal point for artists in the North Side.
It is a the community that I've grown up in, the community that I've found my identity as an artist in. So it's a great opportunity and a great experience to have a studio where the community can be further exposed to my work, existing works as well as newly developing works. Basically, the kind of work that I do is inspired by my life, experiences inspired by my community, family, friends. A lot of my work is situation art, captured moments in time. So it's a great experience for me as a whole to have people that have watched me grow for the past 25 years and watched me walk through North Minneapolis with my portfolio going to art school as a kid, and to watch me now as I'm doing shows and exhibiting and developing my life as an artist. So it's a real connection between myself, Homewood Studios, and North Minneapolis.
Well, I'm Frank Atlas, and you're on the north side, Plymouth, and I think it's Russell. I paint, I do pottery, and right now I don't have no work
Well,
available.
excuse me, you can show them this though. This is the last thing you did.
Yeah.
There's something like this in a museum that I saw over in Spain. A desk like this, only not as nice.
You know, we kind of try to involve kids in everything that we do. I make things work for the community.
My work is, I've done flowers like this. I've done some large pieces like that one. My other one over here. And it's probably more Eurocentric than his. He's more abstract and tend to be more Eurocentric, or I call it.
What I do is paintings on canvas and acrylic, and I have a very textural kind of style. I use a buildup of gel mediums and carve shapes into that, and then add paint. And it's kind of a unique style that I've developed over a period of years. It's really important to me to have a space outside of my home to work in, because I view this as my career, my life career, and I want to get up and go to work every day, and I want to be out of my house and into a space where I'm comfortable and feel like this is just my little place to be all day. But I would like to become involved more with the community. We've talked about offering seminars and classes that each of us would take turns doing portions of.
And the kids are dying to come over for classes. We're going to get that rolling soon. So it's just, there hasn't been this kind of center in this neighborhood. I paint as a living. I'm a book illustrator. I've illustrated now about 20 books for kids. And I have worked thus far with the publishers in town. Lerner, Red Leaf, U of M Press. And I paint. And now that I have a home in Homewood Studios, my painting is going to come a lot more to the fore. I also practice book arts, and so the slide between my paintings and making handmade books, which my husband and I do through Porter Publishing. And so it's a mix. And I'm starting to teach in the community. I'm about to offer art instruction, and we'll be setting up programs for a variety of arts in the gallery space in this building, starting this summer. That'll be continuous.
Being born, the both of us were born and raised here, and to see the effects of the 60s and things that were lost during the riots and the unrest, and it took every bit of 30 years to start coming back.
But it's been stigmatized. It got stigmatized back in the 60s from riots, and it got stigmatized by the fact that businesses left.
But there's a lot of real super good people that live here. They're really community conscious, and they know you have to stick out through the thick and thin, you know, when things are going well and when they're really rough.
There's all kinds of room for it to move up into having activity and having what people want in the neighborhood, making it nice. It's always been really nice, people-wise. The humans have been great. So it's just that economic thing, getting some services rolling and letting people fix their houses, that kind of thing.
It's really giving the kids something to visually look at, like something different that's moving forward, you know, not like one of the last things I built that was new was a funeral home down there, but this really shows some forward movement.
It's It's a big deal to have something that is saying, here we are, here's what we do. In our case, it's art and art classes, a lot of it free. And the neighborhood can just come in and do it. They can see the shows. At our first shows, neighbors contributed. It was an eclectic exhibit of the artists of Homewood. And we had 30 different artists in our small, 16-block area. So there you go, micro art.
The neighborhood organization around here is called the Homewood Block Club Coalition, and that's a coalition of between 12 and 15 different block clubs who get together to do things bigger than a block project. Our first project was to restore the stone markers which outline our neighborhood, and that began in the early 90s, and out of that has grown many more projects, which include at this point a farmer's market on the corner of Penn and Plymouth. Right over behind us there, the possibility of some market rate condominium housing. Down further in our block, there might be some new buildings, some 2-story artist apartment, live workspaces with retail space in the front. There's a feeling in this part of the neighborhood like the arts are taking a good solid foothold, and it's going to be the arts that organize what's happening here.
Well, art is extremely important for communities all over the country because art stimulates the mind. Art is thought-provoking.
This building was a catalyst for us to come and gather. With artist studios already here in this space, it just seemed like to be a natural for more people to gather and want to do have a place where they can express themselves artistically. So the building itself kind of helped spark people thinking, well, why can't we have a writers group and why can't we meet in this space? These buildings were the original part of the original Jewish community business district, so they're really important historically to Plymouth Avenue and the Homewood neighborhood. And we really thank George and Bev Roberts for spending their money and their time and their commitment to the community to open this facility to the artists here in North Minneapolis. We finally have a place to call home.
NRP funding was a large part of this. We got an $80,000 grant at a period when there were neighborhood meetings and there were several different projects that were funded, and 2 projects along Plymouth here, 2 arts projects were funded, and ours is one of those 2. We got an NEDF grant from the city to do the outside of the building, the windows and the roof and that sort of thing. That's the extent of our grants and exterior funding. For the rest of the work, Beverly and I went into debt. We mortgaged our house and took our savings and spent it on the building and so on. So it's a combination of private funds and city funds that have helped us do this project.
But it's good. It's an excellent meeting place. I was really happy when this place was opened up. In fact, I had passed by it several times, and I said, oh, that place is so beautiful. And I was wondering what it was. And I said, well, I have to go in there, because I passed by one night, and it was all lit up, and it was so beautiful. And I said, that is wonderful. We need this. We need a nice space like this on the north side. And I'm really happy that it's here.